Hey, core team, I just wanted to give you all a quick update on where we're at. But first, I just want to let you all know just how blessed I was this past week to be praying for your prayer requests. We had everybody fill out these friendship registers for the very first time at our worship night last week, and I am just so encouraged and blessed just for the privilege of being able to pray for you all, to see your prayer request. It was just an amazing encouragement to me, because one of our four pillars is unceasing prayer, and we believe firmly in the power of prayer. What I've found in my prayer life is that it's not just powerful because God works through prayer, but it's powerful because God works in us as we approach Him in prayer. So thank you very much for that. I'm just really encouraged by that. Okay, so update. Where are we at? Well, first of all, I think that we are almost there. We are really close, I think, to launching. And the launch team and the development of the core team has been going really well. We're growing. The Lord's just been opening a lot of doors for us. But I just want to walk through some of those details. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that I'm asking you to pray. We need to seek God. And there's two particular ways that we need to seek God on. I'm going to go into the detail here. We need to seek God for provision in some key roles with the church, in terms of leadership roles and volunteer roles. We also need to seek God in terms of wisdom. So we want to launch, and we want to launch well, and we want to do that well. So what does that mean by wisdom? Let me take that one first. When we launch and start meeting weekly for worship, that's when our church is going to start, and we're going to move from being a core team to being a church and worshiping weekly in addition to the small groups. And there's a certain amount of work that's required to pull that off every single week. It is the kind of thing where, think about it like a load that we're pulling. We need so many people hooked up to that to make sure that we're pulling it. I believe that we have enough people right now to pull it. What I'm worried about, what I'm concerned about, and this is where we're seeking the Lord in wisdom, is do we have enough to pull it and sustain it? Because we don't want to wear people out. We want to make sure that we have plenty of people, that we're training and having backups, and there's plenty of breaks and rest for everybody. We don't want to burn out anybody, and we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we can't sustain the weekly service. So I want to ask you to pray and pray that not only that we have enough wisdom, have the wisdom that we need on whether we have enough people, but really that it would be the kind of thing that we would launch and really see our goal fulfilled, which is making disciples for the glory of God. Launching is an awesome milestone, but launching our church isn't our ultimate goal. We don't just want to start another church, but we want to launch a church that's going to bring God glory through the Great Commission and the fulfillment of the Great Commission. So that's really the goal. So do we have enough to really sustain it and get there? And so pray for wisdom. And then secondly, I need you all to pray that we continue to get the people that we need. And there's a couple of key roles in particular that I want to mention to you. We need a prayer team leader. This is one of our roles that's vacant, and prayer is an extremely important part of our church. This will be somebody whose job is to really lead the prayer initiatives within our church, to make sure that when we say that unceasing prayer is one of our four pillars, that we actually mean that. It's not just something we aspire to, it really is a significant part of our church. And I believe that if God's in this, we need to be in prayer and seeking Him all the time. And so somebody that can really lead that and take ownership of prayer as an initiative within our church. The second area of need is we need a welcome team leader. And this is someone that oversees the volunteers each Sunday in terms of greeting and ushering and kids check-in, and it's really somebody that's working hard at connecting new people to our church. And like we talked about it a week and a half ago, we want to make sure that our church, work hard at being a church that's welcoming people without judgment. So those two key roles we need to pray for. But another thing too is we also need to make sure we have enough of the foot soldiers. So those are two leadership roles, but we also need people each week involved in Harvest Kids, and in particular that welcome team and the setup team for the church. And so that weekly worship service is going to take a lot of work, and it's going to require a lot of effort on our part to pull off each week. But I think it's very doable if we're all engaged and we're all involved in it. So here's the plan that we're thinking about for it. And there's been a number of other churches that have shared this idea with us and have had success as they've planted. And basically it's a rotation where we get as many of our core team involved in a rotation where you do 2 weeks in Harvest Kids, and then you do 2 weeks as a part of the welcome and setup team, and then you have 2 weeks where you're off. And that way everybody gets to touch and be a part of all the significant parts of a Sunday morning service. But also nobody has to miss church or miss the worship and word and prayer time together more than 2 weeks out of every 6. And that will also allow us to, I think, grow and be able to serve more people. And so you'll find at the bottom of this video on the website, there's a form. So I would love for you to fill that out and let us know that you're interested in being a part of that. Like you can serve in that way. Not everybody can serve in that way. Some people are involved in worship and those kinds of things and won't be able to be in that rotation. But please consider that and sign up so that we can put you in a rotation. We'll work to have subs, and we want to have plenty of people that are ready to back up and so we can serve. And also responsible teenagers can sign up as well. So please sign up, teenagers, and we'll get you into the rotation. We do want to have at least one adult in every kid's room, but teenager will be very helpful. So please sign up and also pray for that need. Okay, so in summary, pray for wisdom, that God would give us the wisdom in order to know, are we ready to launch? Can we move forward with that? And then also pray that God continues to give us the people. We need those 2 leadership positions filled, and then we need enough volunteers to know that, okay, we can sustain this each week. Okay, let me give you a little bit of a timeline. So what are we thinking as far as timeline for launch? Okay, so far we've started our small groups, and I think that so far that's gone very successfly. We've had a monthly worship service at the end of January and February. We're going to do that again at the end of March. So the last Sunday in March, March 25th at 5 p.m., same place. And then our plan is that the following week we're going to do Easter together as a core group, except instead of doing it in the evening, we'll do it Easter morning at the Smith's home. And we're going to make it something very simple, family-oriented, so kid-friendly, just a sharing and worship time around Easter, and then also do an Easter egg hunt together. So that'll be a nice, sweet time together. And then we're looking seriously at launching the weekly services on April 8th or the following Sunday. And then from that point on, we're going to be going weekly. But keep in mind, again, that's not our final goal. Our final goal is really making disciples. God's plan for discipleship is through the local church. And so we're starting a church for the purpose of making disciples. And so what our plan is that we'll launch in early April, mid-April, and then continue to build the team and the church, and then plan for a public launch where we're going out into the neighborhoods and letting people know that we're here for the end of August. So the last Sunday of August, which is August 26th, as a public launch point. Now, of course, we want to invite people. There's no reason we can't invite people and have people join and be a part of us once we get started in April. But we want to build up and really reach out into the community as best we can for the August in a public launch. So in summary, pray for wisdom. James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives us generously to all without reproach, and it'll be given to him. We need wisdom from God to know, is this the right move? Is this the right decision? Are we on the right path? And then secondly, pray for the people. Now, each day over the next few days, I'm gonna send you a short email that will summarize some specifics on how you can pray. Please read those emails and please pray. And I can tell you one of the things that's just been so encouraging to me over these last 6-7 months that we've, for the most part, all of us have been heavily engaged in this. I've been so encouraged at how when people engage and when people step up to what God's doing, how he works. There is nothing that is going to stop God from doing his mission. In other words, I'm not saying that God's mission is dependent on us. God has promised to do what he's promised to do, and he is going to build his church. I am completely confident of that. I kind of think of it like the winds that are blowing across the sea, nice steady wind of God's movement. And I think really the question for us is, are we going to raise our sail into that wind and catch the wind that God's doing? And in other words, God works through us in amazing ways, and we've seen him do that. We have seen him work within our core team as people have stepped up and engaged in community and small groups and working at what God's doing, how he works through us in our lives and in the lives of other people. So I'm confident in what God's going to do through us as we just faithfully step through the doors that he presents to us. So I'm excited about this. Please pray this week. And again, I just want to thank you so much for the honor and the blessing that you have been to me, the honor and the blessing that I get to be in this position and to lead in this way. And I'm excited about what God's going to do. So look for those emails. Sign up on the form that's right below here for the volunteer rotation, and we'll be in touch with that. And remember and know, of course, that you are loved. Immortal, invisible.